Monkeys headed to Mars. I saw an article on the internet. I skimmed a couple of articles, looked at pictures too, just to see what's new. Did you hear? The Russians are training monkeys. Really, the Russians are training monkeys. It sounds crazy, but really the monkeys are learning how to use joysticks. They dress them up like cosmonauts. It's kind of funny. It passes the time. Reading the article, Looking at the pictures, They're getting the monkeys ready to fly to Mars later this year. So I have something to look forward to. People who find themselves frowning should look at the monkeys. It feels good to be alive right now. The Russians are really doing it. What better way to demonstrate our dominance over animals, over space, over dirt? What better way to demonstrate our 21st century technological prowess? What better way to roar than to blast some monkeys off to Mars? And man, I remember when Neil Armstrong got off the lunar module on July 20th, 1969, and he put his space boot on the moon. He actually had a space boot. And he stepped off that little metal ladder coming out of the lunar module, and he breathed in oxygen from an oxygen tank hooked up to his spacesuit, and Buzz Aldrin was there too. And really, we were all there. All of us. I was there, you were there, on the moon. Taking that step off the ladder with Neil Armstrong. Because remember what he said? That's one small step for a man. One giant leap for mankind. And God was there, too, on the moon. Somehow, yes, he was there, concurrently noticing the fall of a sparrow and nodding yes, yes, yes in approval, along with 1,000 holy angels right when Neil Armstrong put his space boot on the moon ground. I remember all that happening, which is weird. Because in Genesis chapter 11, verses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, God topples the Tower of Babel because it's so tall that the people might find a shortcut to heaven. So heaven must be really high up there somewhere. So it seems to me that a consistent God would have sabotaged the Apollo 11 mission right from the get-go, right when they said, 3, 2, 1, we have liftoff. That's when God would have said, 3, 2, 1, we have carnage. Because the rocket ship increased its altitude way more than the Tower of Babel ever did. Actually, I don't remember any of that happening, and God probably never really was there on the moon with Neil Armstrong, and neither were any angels, and neither was I, because I was born on February 4th, 1983, and 1983 minus 1969 equals 14, so the first moon landing happened 14 years before I was born. And certainly I was born in a fixed time and space. And certainly my mind is tethered to one particular brain. At least, as far as I can currently ascertain. And why should I care if monkeys go to Mars? I'll never meet the monkeys, and I can't even identify Mars at night. Unless somebody with a telescope. I don't have or want a telescope. I want a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. But even if someone points Mars out to me, it only looks like a tiny speck of light. I've seen check engine lights prettier than Mars. And the monkeys won't appreciate their place in history or appreciate their place in space, and they won't feel proud to be Russian because they're not really Russian anyway. Even bald eagles have no idea what America is. All the blasted monkeys are going to feel is claustrophobic and invisible space radiation seeping into their brains. But the next article I'm going to click on is about radiance and lipstick and white-collar crime. There are lots of pictures. And hopefully that'll be better.